Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of the J Rendina Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about if you own a service-based business, how to leverage your friend group to get success. This is a really important one because this is the start. You're starting with your circle. Some points we're going to be hitting on is going to be finding your mavens. We'll dive into what that is. It's okay to ask for help. Really talking about how to ask for help. How to leverage your friends of friends. And then really how to not overstep your boundaries. That's an important aspect. You want to keep your friendship going. Don't overstep your boundaries. So, introduction on this podcast. Again, if you know anyone in the service-based business, please share this podcast to them. We're trying to grow this show. We want to deliver as much value as possible to anyone starting out or a little further along their journey in the service-based business. The key is really we want to help deliver small business knowledge. We want to help people grow in all areas of small business, especially the service-based businesses. So again, if you get any value, share the show, like, comment. Really mean a lot to us. We want to grow it. So thank you for that. So your friends are an integral part of your business. We're going to talk about the truth of how to bring friends into your business, what it really looks like. We're going to talk about how to be a good friend to other business owners. And we're going to talk about things to avoid in friendship and business. You know, you have to be really, really careful not to overstep boundaries there. So for me, I've had some examples. I've had some really, really good friends who've helped me grow in my business. And there was one specific person I remember who was my maven. Now, what is it? What is a maven? The true definition of a maven is an expert or a connoisseur that people listen to advice. Now, I heard this term, I think I was reading a book one day, and it's like, where are your mavens? Where are these people that are going to help bring you more business? Now, I really identified this early enough in my business, honestly, through luck. And I didn't know what a maven was at that point. And I was like, after reading a certain book, I forgot which book, I can't give it credit. But after reading a book, I was like, wow, this person is my maven. And what that means is they consistently fed me clients. So not only were they a friend, they were someone who really was an advocate for me. And they pushed people to come and see me because people trusted them, trusted their opinion. And they also spoke a lot to a lot of people. I remember that, you know, my maven, her name was Michelle. And I'll call her name out there. If she's listening, thanks, Michelle. And when I first started Iron Health, she was one of my first clients. And I just tried to help her. She was a bodybuilder at the time. And I was like, I'm just going to help you move better, get functioning better, make sure you have no injuries. Just from helping her once, I drastically saw my lead flow increase. And what I did was I tracked. I'm like, all right, who is coming in from who? And that's how I was able to find out that she was the source. Now, there's a lot of things we could talk about with a maven too, right? You have to foster that relationship once you find them. If you have someone who's really your advocate and telling everyone about you, take that person out immediately to lunch, dinner, coffee, whatever. You have to grow that relationship even more. And you can grow it to more of a business relationship too, especially if it's like a friend that's not a super, super close friend. You want to make sure you guys are having a mutual relationship. And we'll talk about some specific things to do there. What I did with her was I just made sure I was checking in with her all the time. We did do some coffee, or if she needed anything outside of the physical therapy location, I made sure I delivered it. And just really giving her consistent touch points, because I know that the more we were in contact, the more people she would help bring to my clinic. Mavens are an integral part of any business. So you got to find your maven. I also had a couple other mavens too when I first started. Now, she's one that stands out to me, but I had a couple other people who really helped us grow. And I remember I had one family that came to me. So it started with the dad, and then he told his son, he told the mom. So I had this whole family that I've actually developed a bond with. And it was because one of them was a maven. Now, again, you got to consistently foster these relationships. And now they are my friends. They become friends of mine. And this does happen too. Not very often, but it is okay for some of your clients to become your friends. I also had a friend who owned a gym, and for us, obviously, I went to where the client is, right? That's a key part of marketing in general. You got to go where the people are. So I developed a relationship with a gym owner, And what that allowed me to, he opened up his doors for me to go and present in front of a captive audience, his clients. Now if that's not a maven, I don't know what is, right? And that's a friend too, right? This is how you can leverage some of your friends. You have your mavens, you have your friendships. So let's talk about some key points here. Like we said in the beginning. The first point is finding your mavens. How do you do that? We all have at least one friend who tells everyone about everything. In my life, I have learned that I'm a maven, especially for food, because I love food. So I'll tell everyone about a specific restaurant, and I'll make sure that restaurant gets busy. So I know I am a maven, right? And that's another point too. You want to become a maven for someone else, right? And we'll dive into that. But let's talk, how do you find your mavens? Step one, if you're in a service-based business, make sure you're tracking who your referral sources are coming in. This should be an integral part of your intake form. You have to know who's referring, and this more specific, the better, because you will start to see trends. Step two, you want to foster that relationship. So let's say after 2 months of really tracking where people are coming in, you're seeing the same name pop up. Let's use the name Mary. And Mary consistently refers you 1 to 2 people a week. You need to start developing a deeper relationship with Mary. And how do you do that? Call Mary up on the phone. Like, hey, Mary, let's go grab coffee. I want to talk to you. When you develop this relationship, you start very friendship related first, right? Like just developing a bond, developing like, hey, this is great. I want to be your friend. Now, you can put rocket fuel on this relationship. And how do you do that? You start to create either an affiliate program with Mary or some sort of referral structure with Mary. Now, you have to look specifically in your industry. Obviously, you do not want to be paying for referrals if it's illegal. So I'll preface it with that. You have to talk to your lawyer about that. But if you have a maven that you know is already sending you 1 to 2 people a week, and you want to make sure that that continues or that gets leveraged, develop an affiliate relationship with them. And that can be any way. Like, hey, Mary, let's use massage, for example. If you're a massage therapist, hey, Mary, for every 2 people you send me, you'll get a free massage. Now you're incentivizing her to send you even more people. You've identified it first, and now you're incentivizing. And that's really how a relationship can start to deepen, especially on the business side. So you have a friendship, and now you have that business relationship as well. And it's mutually beneficial. That's important. You want to make sure if you have a maven, it's not just one way, right? Like if you identify a maven, make sure it's mutually beneficial. That's super important. Make them an ambassador to your company. And again, that could be in the form of an affiliate. It can mean you give them free services. Structure something in a way that says, I'm going to be an ambassador for this company because of this. Like really make it easy for them. Present them a deal, present them an offer that's really easy for them to say yes to. And step 4, repeat with others. So this goes back, and we could talk a whole podcast on how to track metrics, but always be tracking your referral sources and then look at trends. And once you find the trends, make sure you're reaching out to the people who refer you the most and developing a relationship with them. That's how you repeat this maven process. And you consistently do it. It never ends. This is really a part of building relationships in the end of the day. So you cannot stop this. So we're still on finding mavens. Another aspect of that is be a maven for others. And I remember specifically, there was a gym in the area when I first started, and the gym owner came to me for treatment, right? He was facilitating a relationship that was mutually beneficial. I was helping him. He was telling his clients about me. And then really, it just developed a bond between us, especially in my field, right? PT, we're hands-on people. So be a maven for others. Now, if you go, especially if you have a friend in a business, you want to make sure you're telling everyone about that business, right? Small business is everything. And if they're your friend, why not be promoting their business? So put yourself out there and be a maven for others, and that will return to you, right? And tell people too, like if you have people in a business, make sure they know, like, oh, I'm going to be pushing your business. Like we are our best advocates. And it's easy to do it that way because now you're developing relationships with business owners. Business owners understand other business owners. They understand how hard it is. So you want to go out of your way to make sure that that person is getting the business from you, and then it be the law of reciprocity. Will start to give you business. Be that maven for others, and it will happen to you. Step 2, when leveraging your friends as a business owner, it's okay to ask for help. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's an easy one. But the reality is, maybe it's just me, but the stubbornness of saying I could do this all on my own is very short-sighted. It's okay to ask people for help, especially your friends. And how do you do that? How do you ask for help? And I think that's an important topic for us to touch base on too. Your good friends are going to want to help you. Firstly, let's preface it with that. But to successfully ask for help, there's a couple things you need to know. One, you have to be persistent. Persistent but not annoying. It takes 7 touch points for someone to actually digest what you're telling them. That's very important to understand. It's not just, hey, I need some business, or I need some help growing this. Like, if you have a friend who's a business owner, or a friend who's out there who has a large group of people they influence, like, hey, can you help me bring people into my business? I can offer you this, this, and this. First time, it might not go anywhere. Second time, might not go anywhere. It takes about 7 times. So understand, be persistent, but not annoying. They can help in small ways. And you could start with small ways to help. Like, hey friend, hey Jane, I need you to, or would you be okay with writing me a review for my service-based business? I'll give you a free service. I'm really trying to grow my Google presence. Small ways are okay, and you start small. You don't have to be massive. Your friends are going to be more than happy to help you. They can give you a review, they can give you a video testimonial, or they could tell someone about you. And you just have to ask them, and it's okay to ask. I've noticed in my business, a lot of the struggles or a lot of the issues come because people are afraid to just ask people. Like, if you don't ask people, the answer is always no, right? That's a common quote, and it's very true. And you have to be okay with asking people. You're not hard selling them. You're just asking them, and you truly want help. People want to help you. So make them feel special by helping you. If you have 5 close friends, you can grow a service-based business. I truly believe that. What do I mean by that? If you have 5 friends that love you, that really want to help you grow, each of them will tell 5 people. So that's 25 potential people you can bring into your business to help. Right there, if you're a one-man shop, you're already breaking even. So leverage your 5 friends. If you don't have any friends, just go out and meet people. You got to get out there. If you're a business owner, you got to meet some people. You got to develop some friendships. The next point is leverage friends of friends. Like, how are we going to do this? This kind of goes hand in hand with the above. How to ask for a referral. Now, again, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. And this can always get a little uncomfortable. This can be uncomfortable if you're asking for a referral, because it might feel like you're salesy, but don't think that. Change your mindset to think that people want to help you, and you're just asking for help, and that's okay. So how I would ask for a referral, if I'm starting out or if I'm a little deep into it, tell your friend, I will offer you a free service if you give me 5 names for me to contact. Now, I say that specifically, 5 names for you to contact, because it's always easier for you to reach out as the owner versus relying on your friend to just tell them and them to reach out to you. The outreach of calling someone is going to be a lot easier to get them to become a client. Trust me, this is a 100% true, and I'm sure all of you have dealt with this. I know when someone tells me about a service, I'm like, oh, great, I'm going to try it. I want to try it. Now imagine if that person had my number and they call me like, hey, I heard you want to try this. We want to book you. I'm more than likely to book. So this is a key ingredient. It's tactile, but have your friends give you 5 names with numbers or emails that you can actively reach out to. That's going to be very crucial in getting a referral. And if it's really like a close friend, just when you're over coffee or dinner, just be like, listen, I really need your help. Can you refer me some people? Or just tell people about my service? It would really help us grow. Be sincere, be authentic. And it's okay to be vulnerable and be like, hey, I need the help. Especially if you're first starting out. It's just, you have to leverage your friend group. You're not going to grow without it. So how do you spot a zone of influence within your friend group too, right? This is an interesting kind of topic. This goes back to a maven too. Like, if you have friends who are very influential and they have a lot of people that follow them, whether on social media or just in real life, You could spot that in certain ways. One is, are people doing things that they're doing? Two, are they able to gather a group? That's very, very important. If they're able to gather a group of people, then you know they have influence. And three would be, do they go out of their way to meet new people? If you have someone like that who's very extroverted too, like leverage that, talk to them. That's the person you should be focused on, saying this person has a zone of influence that I want to be a part of. Very simplistic. But again, the first thing is you have to ask for help there. The last thing I want to talk about here is don't overstep your boundaries. Now, what do I mean by that? Remember, if this is a friend or you really want a friendship, do not make it a transactional effort. Don't say, I'll give you this for this. And also set clear boundaries early on. So this is my steps to making sure you and your friends have good friendship and good business relationships, right? One, good friends will support you. So just know that right away. They're not looking for just money on the back end. So if someone just come in looking for money, might not be a good friend. Two, have clear expectations. Like, hey, Jane, I would like this relationship to be our friends is this, but in business, my expectations are X, Y, and Z. And then hear their expectations and make sure they align. Because if you have clear expectations with each other, your friendship will remain the same. Three, think about how your friend would feel on the other side of it, right? Meaning, if you're in a service-based business, or let's say you're in the service-based business, obviously is the top one. So we're talking about, if you're in a service-based business and you're the provider, you wouldn't want your friends just taking free services without giving something in advance. So be on the other side of that and say, hey, how can I also help you? And word it that way to them. Make sure they know that, like, hey, I will give you these services, but these are my expectations that you're going to refer this. There has to be that mutual beneficial communication here. Especially your friends shouldn't want everything for free. That's category. They should want to pay you. That's really important. And then the last point there is just be a maven for your friends, especially if they have businesses. Tell people about them, because that's just going to help everyone grow. And that's the end game, right? You want to make sure everyone's growing. So let's recap on that. Summarize some major points. You can dive into it. One, find your mavens. Two, ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. Three, leverage friends of friends. Ask for referrals. Do it tactfully. And then four, don't overstep your boundaries as a friend on either side, either the business owner or the person getting the service. Make sure it's mutually beneficial, and you make sure your friendship stays a friendship. So if you got any value from that, please like and share. Again, use your friends, leverage this. I'm asking you as a friend to leverage this podcast and share it for me so we can keep on growing. Thanks for watching.